let's talk about the Xfinity race. I guess really the only things I want to talk about this Xfinity race, and I want to compare it to the Cup race as well. Uh, what a banger of a race, man. Why are we running Richmond in the night? Daytime Richmond's always better. When you get the heat in the track, I mean, the tires, even like, I don't know, man. What's the difference between the compounds they use in Xfinity compared to the Cup? Because the tire fall off in this race was insane. Like, especially towards the beginning of this race, like I'll talk about it. So Almirola ends up winning stages 1 and 2, really looked like a dominant car. Chandler Smith goes on to win the race, but really wasn't the dominant car at all for the first 2 stages, really for the first 3/4 of that race. At the third stage, they finally made the right adjustment. They were able to go from about the 4th best car to the best car and end up pulling away and winning the race, which I got to pat myself on the back a little bit here because I picked Chandler to win the race. So I feel good about that. That was a good pick on my part. But
This is Jay from the Dega Boys, reminding you to like this video if you're enjoying it so far. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to see more great content like this. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay notified of all future uploads on this channel. Thanks for watching. Now back to the video.
I mean, really, Almirola, that 20 team, they just didn't keep up with the track like Chandler Smith's team did, which I thought was really impressive. And that's the Richmond I have come to love. That's the Richmond I like because we saw the different strategies. We saw multiple stop strategies throughout that race. And then cars adjusting, keeping up with the track better as the race went on, as the track temperature changed, as the tire wear, and the track took rubber. Like, I don't know. Am I off base here, or am I just like looking through it with like a kind of a diluted lens? Because that's the way I felt about this race.
Well, they've got the combination right with these cars, right? They're very minimal changes from manufacturer to manufacturer. There's no aggressive contours in the body. The tires are skinnier, and I mean, damn, Jay, they're almost half the size as the Cup cars. All right? And then you give them a decent amount of horsepower. It's going to create awesome racing. And then do it right in the middle of the day when the track heats up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, come on. You're asking for success with that. And then everything we do with the Xfinity Series, none of that translates to the Cup Series. None of it.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. It's like, and then people aren't watching the Xfinity races, and it really saddens me because you're missing out on the best racing there is. I mean, yeah. I try to watch every single Xfinity race because it is the best. It is the premier NASCAR series, and people aren't watching it. I know Steven said this before. Like, he says, you know, if we just all quit watching the Cup Series and the Cup Series is getting 1 million views like the Xfinity gets and the Xfinity is getting 4 million views like the Cup Series is getting, then they're going to make changes. It's going to change. They're going to go back to something more like the Xfinity Series to make the racing better. But I honestly, in my opinion, Tom, I don't know, maybe you could disagree with me or not on this, but I think that the talent pool in the Xfinity Series right now is better than it's been in the last 15 years. I think in the last 3 years of the Xfinity Series, the talent pool we've had has just been outstanding. Like, there's 15 guys in the series that could be Cup guys right now that are winning, that could win any Xfinity race. And the competition's so tough. That's why you like when you see somebody like John Hunter last year, or even when
Chris
Reddick
Bell
was in there, or Bell, yeah, when they go on these runs, that's hard to do, especially when the talent that they're going up against. I love the Xfinity Series. It's so great. I mean, it's the best racing.
Yeah. It is, and again, they have the recipe for success. You know, we've got a lot of good, very good oval drivers in the Cup Series, right? Very good, talented oval drivers. But they can't even flex their talents because of the manufactured BS cars that they made, the BS tires they made. I'm so tired about talking about the single lug. I don't even care about that anymore. The tires, fix the freaking tires. Fix the freaking horsepower. Stop trying to look outside of the United States right now to go and run a race and give these teams the support they need for horsepower. And I know everybody talks about horsepower. Jay, I think you said it. I said it on episode 3. The tires can make up for the loss of horsepower.
Yes.
We saw that at Bristol. It was a great race. That's what we need. In fact, I want to take this opportunity right now, and I want to give a big shout out to Chase Elliott. He went on to the Dale Jr. download, and he absolutely ripped NASCAR for the tires that they have been given for the past couple of years at short tracks, stating that, we actually produced a race that was worthy of people watching.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of taking 3 sets of tires to complete 500 laps at Bristol, we got shoved into the unknown. We had to adapt as drivers. We had to adapt as crew chiefs. We had to adapt as pit crew members because everything was so last second. Everybody had to be on their toes. If you were going to blow a tire in turn 3, I mean, you got to get down to the pits as soon as you can to make a tire change. The tire changers, the jackman, the fuelman, they all had to be on their toes. And that is what that's what made Bristol so exciting. We just didn't know what was going to happen. Chase Elliott went on there and said exactly that. We had a great race. I don't care what anybody says. That race was great. Instead of taking these tires where we could run 500 laps on 3 sets of tires, we were running 40 laps, 50 laps, and we had to come in for tires. That's what racing is. So, as a fellow Chase Elliott or non-Chase Elliott enthusiast, he earned some kudo points with me the other day.
Yeah,
and I think that is very. What he said is something that is, you can commend him for it.
Yeah. No, I agree. And also another thing that he said too that kind of stuck home with me too is he said, I just can't drive this car. Like my abilities and my skills are just being overshadowed by how terrible the car is. Like he didn't say it like that, but basically if you read between the lines, that's what he said. And I think the same way about Keselowski. I think the same way about Kyle Busch. Alex Bowman's a great example of it as well. I'm trying to think who else. There's like a handful of drivers that this car just doesn't match their driving style. And we're saying that these are the best drivers in the world, but like it's not a car where their driving style. Like if we had a car, like you said with the tires, if we had a tire that wore out, then we could see the race get back in the driver's hands. We want to see it get back to the driver's hands.
And that's what racing is about.
Exactly. And I think I 100% believe that if we went to the way that we had that Bristol race, whatever package we ran there, whatever tire we ran there, if we brought that back to more of these short tracks, I think you would see a lot of these rookies starting to succeed a lot more too, because right now they are playing catch-up mode. If they went to something where the tires wore something like more like the Xfinity Series, I think we'd see Carson Hocevar competing for the playoffs. I think we'd see Zane Smith competing for the playoffs. Ty Gibbs even. Like you would see a lot of these younger drivers start to succeed right away. I think Briscoe is a great example as well. Like I mentioned with Busch and Elliott and Keselowski and Bowman. I think Briscoe's another perfect example. And Priest, perfect example. I know this car is just not made for half the field in the Cup Series, and it's sad. It's sad that we have to really take away the driver's ability.
If you think about it, Jay, NASCAR is building these cars to set rookies up to fail.
Yes.
And that is not how we should be taking rookies.
Yes.
I mean, we should vet rookies for sure, and to see if they're taking up a seat or not when they shouldn't be. But I truly feel like that these cars are just not, like what you said, everybody who comes into the Cup Series, they play catch up for 2, 3, 4 years. You can't. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so much data to learn. There's so much talent to learn. I honestly feel this, that the drivers that are driving these cars right now, they had to learn talent to drive these cars fast. And I don't think that, I mean, you can make an argument stating that, well, if they're the best drivers in the world, then they should be able to learn it quick and move on. Well, it's not exciting.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
okay?
Parity. We want parity, right?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It is awful. What we saw at Bristol is we saw the old minds, the old hands come out and use their old talents to win a race. Where'd we see all the young guys? All the way in the back.
Yep.
And it wasn't exciting just because of that, but it was eye-opening to see how much ahead some of these older drivers are. and none of the young drivers will learn because they don't get those situations.
Exactly.
Are they real race car drivers?
Yeah, right. No, I see what you're saying. No, I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah. And I mean, and it's not like they're slow, right? But 0.2 of a second is a freaking 0.2 of a second might as well be 3 football fields. That in the Cup Series, like that is a big difference. 0.2 of a second. So it's like, and to find those 0.2 is extremely hard. Like you can make up half a second and get like right there, but then you get that 2 seconds away or 0.2 of a second away. That's a gap to climb right there.
It's unrecoverable.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's detrimental to teams. How can you expect a new team to come in and win like that? Besides Trackhouse. Trackhouse is an anomaly. They came in, they bought CGR, and they rode that wave. Okay, I'll say that, and I fully believe that. But look, if you've got some Joe Blow Motorsports coming in and expect them to run top 20, bro, they ain't gonna run top 20 for the first 10 years.
No.
Let alone have one good race. It's not gonna happen.
Well, look at Spire and look how much money they've pumped into the sport, and they can't even get top 10s.
They can't even do it. And they've got top prospects. They got Saint Smith, Carson Hocevar. They still can't do it.
Nope.
Bottom line, this car freaking sucks. This tire freaking sucks. Need more horsepower to even complement the drivers or a better tire. It's just... I thought these cars looked like trash the second they unveiled them. And I was like, man, we're going to go 10 years with this crap. Dang it.
Yeah, but the only upside to these cars, and this is what keeps me optimistic, is the road racing has been so much better in the next-gen car. I remember 2022 Road America was one of the best freaking road races we've had. Indianapolis last year was so good. I mean...
Yeah, but it's because they changed the suspension setup on it.
Well, sure.
And they went to a transaxle. They went to independent rear suspension. All right. I mean, you could put a COT body on it, and it'd still race the same. You know what I mean? Like, COTs were kind of at a disadvantage because they were still using truck arm rear ends.
Mm-hmm.
So we sacrificed a lot for 4 races now. And NASCAR's not even capitalizing on it.
Yeah. Well, and then
or 5 races.
Yeah, and then they're trying to gaslight the NASCAR fans to think the road racing sucks. And so it's like they built a car specifically for road racing, and then they gaslight the fans and tell them it's terrible. So now we don't even do road racing anymore. It's an evolving door of just BS. Yeah.